So I feel more confident having my children on these spaces.
Oh,
So I think having an understanding of the platforms is needed.
so hello everyone. Welcome to Playdate podcast, reminiscing your childhood memories, presented by Cerita Lana. With me, Dea Folzen, as your host today. So, in this podcast, we try to invite several people from different country, different background, to talk uh, to recall their childhood memories, talk about it while playing this Indonesian traditional game, and the conversation will discuss about uh, how they navigate digital world effectively and safely, so we can learn from that. Okay, so in this first episode, we'll talk about the role of play in digital age, and please welcome my guest today, my professor, Dr. Elizabeth Nelson. So, good morning, Libby.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for accepting this collaboration. We we really want to learn much from you. Yeah, because maybe I just want to give you a context about how digital literacy in Indonesia, uh, as a formal learning, we have digital literacy curriculum after pandemic.
Yes. Oh, only after the pandemic?
Only after pandemic.
Great.
2021.
Yep.
Yeah, we have that curriculum.
Yep.
Before that, it's like it's not something. I think many people learn about digital literacy, but it's not. It's not what they talk about in formal education. Okay, I just want a disclaimer. It's that's far as I concerned.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid maybe I don't know many things about Indonesia. Okay, so through this podcast and through this game, it's not only I want to introduce this game, and also I want to absorb new ideas, new methodologies from different people and from different background. So let's play. Okay, we'll play by what we call this one, like skizzer. But
scissors, paper, rock.
Yeah, but I want to introduce you Indonesian style.
Yes.
Okay, so what we know it's like this one, right?
Yes.
But in Indonesia we have like this, and this.
Okay.
Okay, so this is S11.
Elephant.
Okay, people.
People.
And N.
Okay.
Okay, so this one will if you that and then
you have people.
Yeah, you have people and I have elephant, so I will win.
Oh, elephant beats people.
Okay. And then if I like this, you will win.
Because you're an ant.
Okay.
And ants beat, and then what? The ants beat elephants?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. No. Ants beat elephant.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. That's right. I'm so sorry. I'm a bit confused with my explanation.
No, that's
okay.
Right. Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yep.
Let's play just one time.
Okay.
One. Okay. Let just
1, 2, 3, sure.
Okay.
All right.
1, 2, 3,
sure.
Okay, you win. Okay, great. Okay. So as you win, we have to team here as our name, Cerita Lana, and Lana stand for Lala and Nano. Okay. So what team are you? Do you want to be Team Lala? So you define yourself as updated person, or as Nano, as borderless person?
I think for this conversation, probably Lala.
Lala. Okay, so you team Lala or I'll be team Nano?
I think.
Okay, so guys, leave in the comments who do you think will win and who are you? Team Lala or team Nano? Okay, so you can play first.
Okay.
Like what I said, the rule you will. I will give you a question and then you play, and then please answer my question.
Great.
So my first question, I will talk about the play. So what is your plaything or childhood plaything that you still remember still today? Sorry, you need to play and then answer.
I'm still thinking.
Okay. No, sorry. You should be
Do I
here.
have to start this one?
Oh, no. Yeah, you can start
I
here.
can
but
start here, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Is that right?
Okay.
Yeah. And
All
then,
right.
And I have to get all these empty and fill them over on yours, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing that I think, so my childhood that I'm drawing on is from Australia.
Okay.
And in the 1990s.
Okay.
And there were obviously lots of toys and lots of things available. But I think the plaything that I think of is actually my sister's, which isn't a plaything.
Oh, okay. Your sister? Oh, all
So I
right.
have an older sister and a younger sister.
Okay.
And that was like, if they were there,
Okay.
it didn't matter what we had around us. We would make up songs, we would make up, and the toys were always changing depending on how old we were. There was no one toy for me, except probably entertaining my little sister and playing with my big sister was like the key thing. I don't know if that's the right answer.
Okay. No, it's good one. It's my turn, but okay. Let me.
Starting in the middle. I don't know if there's strategy here.
Okay. Actually, in the real game, I can still play, but like I said, just one move, so we can still keep the conversation. So my next question. Okay. So still, since it's like the real play. It's like play with your sister. Um, what do you still remember about the from that experience? It's like because you play with your sister, so it make a bond.
Yeah.
But it's like you become a bonding sibling, or what happened?
I think we were always playing out different TV shows that we like to watch together, and we were playing very creative play all the time, making up stories, making up songs, and I think, like you said, it was creating a very strong bond. We now live in different continents, and we have for a very long time. More than 20 years, we've lived in different continents. So having, like, when I was thinking of the thing about childhood, it was really having this bond of two sisters that we could always, no matter what we had, we could take up something and we could make a game of it. And so, yeah, I think a lot of the time, we spent a lot of time playing a TV show called Rainbow Bright. Don't know if you know this TV show.
I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Probably too young, and you're also not Australian. But yeah, it was a very popular game, and I always had to play the frog while my sister got to be Rainbow Bright. And friends would come and they'd play different characters, and that was, I think, the thing we were playing with was like the TV show in our imagination.
Okay, before I give you a question, please.
I didn't play first.
All right. So I will play like this. Okay. So my next question. Since you talk about the TV show that you watch, it's like become memorable things in your childhood memories. Do you think what you watch shape what you are today? Okay.
I remember it. Yes, but not only because of what was in the TV show.
Okay.
So I think having something like that, I would call it a text.
Okay.
And having that text to play with has shaped how I approach lots of things in my life. Okay. So I think of it as something that somebody else has made out there in the world, the toy, the text, the story, and then being able to take it and make it my own is a big part of how I recognize play in young people today, and how I think about the way that we are, the way that young people are agents, or young people are doing stuff and making things, and I see that I do that in my life too. That I take what's out there and I can play with it and make it my own. And I think a lot of that was part of growing up and doing that with my sisters together creatively.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Okay.
This one's getting big.
Okay. So, my next question. Actually, you talk about the text, and I think it's something that we learn in this course, and something that you are expert. Maybe my question will be about when or how did you recognize that you want to, or this is things that I want to spend on my life, because this is make me alive. Because it's like you recognize it in your childhood, and then this is something that you want to know, and when it was, and how can you realize it?
Trying to think where I can actually be. I have no idea. I think I'm going to lose this game terribly, but I'm going to try.
No.
Oop, I'll put two in there. It's so different doing it with shells than what I remember doing it with.
Okay. No, this is mine.
Oh, I don't put it in there. Oh, you skipped that?
No,
I skipped that.
Yeah, you skipped it.
Okay.
Because I will also skip.
And you skipped that one. I didn't know that. I don't think I've made it round to the side yet. So after I completed an undergraduate in English and philosophy, I then trained as an English language teacher.
Okay.
And I went and I traveled to lots of different places around the world, to places where English wasn't the main language, so that I could teach and live in an exciting place. And I found that I would show up, and the very first thing I would do was go and if I was in a group or a family or anything like that, I found it most easy to communicate with the children, if no one else spoke English, through playing games and songs. And a lot of the time it was like songs that we culturally had in common, like head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But like sing it in
in different languages.
Yeah, all different languages.
Yeah.
And all little nursery rhymes and things like that were similar songs. And I found this like a really, really important way to make connections with people. And it reminded me of what I used to do with play, the way we changed the songs, and we'd do that, and we'd meet new kids, and we'd sing songs, or we'd do the same games, and it was always a way to connect. So when I started in my master's degree in children's literature and literacies, once I started to understand more about the idea that a text isn't just written down, but could be digital, could be anything, I realized that these songs and games that I'd always wanted to play were texts. And that was what got me really excited. And so thinking about these traditional songs, and then finding that today we're sharing them online. Do you remember the cup song?
The cup song?
It was really big for a while.
I know that.
Yeah, so that was really popular when I did my master's. And I was like, but that's offline, that's online. And that's what got me really excited. This idea that this thing that we'd always been doing and sharing and playing was online as well. And so I wanted to think about, like, what does that mean? What does that mean for connection? What does that mean for how we learn? What does that mean for what it means to be a kid, making up things and expressing and making connections? And what does it mean for an adult who looks back on those things? And that's what got me excited. So I think it's this idea that those ways of playing and those ways of being together are part of community building and part of being a kid and part of it. I don't know if that answers it.
No, that's really answering the question. Before I give the question, actually talking about that cup song, the reason why I didn't realize exactly because at that moment I was in boarding school.
So it wasn't like
I know when it was holiday, but it's not like in my core memory.
Yes, but I'm sure after you came back from boarding school, people would have brought it with them. Suddenly everybody would be
So because of that, I just realized. So next. So my next question, since you talk about digital and then how this online, yeah, it's like share this song online can build the community. Yeah, I think one of your interests it's not only in the play and also the post digital. Do you know in the context of Indonesia, since yeah, like I said, digital literacy it's still new. Okay, as a learning things, it's maybe new informal institution, but uh, it's like how can I mean as an professor, how do you see this digital? Like you can still teach your children these things to develop their cognitive or emotional development, but you also need to observe that your kids or your children live in digital era because I know there are a lot of parents, there are a lot of adults that still worry, afraid, and maybe not believe enough with digital. It's like, yeah, they try to avoid digital.
Yep.
So how do you see this one, and what you want to do, or what maybe not want, but what you have done maybe?
Yeah. My daughter is 6, and she told me that she wants to be a YouTube star.
Okay.
And I was like, how do you know what a YouTube star is?
Okay.
Like, we don't watch YouTube. We watch lots of like different platforms, but we don't happen to watch YouTube. And one of the reasons for that is because I'm aware of the uncensored element of YouTube. What's the word? Uncurated.
Oh, okay.
So Netflix and Disney and these platforms that have various good things and various bad things about them are curated for young people. And so I feel more confident having my children on these spaces. So I think having an understanding of the platforms is needed. It's not great that parents have to have that sense. There is a few websites out there that are very specific to regions. I don't know which one the Indonesian one would be, but it's sort of like an internet safety that looks at like, we would call them PG or PEG ratings for websites. And I think ones that are closed are safer for young people. YouTube is a great platform. There's loads of stuff on it, but without an adult there to help watch videos, you don't need to know how to navigate it or anything. But being there and watching with your child is really important, particularly on YouTube, because there's so many videos that are made by AI and have been for years and years. And so having a sense that user-generated platforms are often actually AI generated. And that means that even if someone might not be trying to do anything bad, really. They might just be trying to make some money. And they just create a program that takes things from videos and makes a video. So that's quite common. And then they make programs that do that. And so there's like so many, and a ridiculous amount of videos out there that are just made by bots, that are never seen by anybody, but are really unsettling and and don't have any, they're not, they can have, I mean, they can be actually quite violent, and they can be rude, and and these things are quite uncensored and not always caught on YouTube, but they wouldn't be on a closed platform. So I think with children under a certain age, and that would change depending on the child, depending on the family, that I would suggest that they use closed platforms. But with other kind of, what I would say is, it's not just parents, it's not just teachers don't know, really. And the main thing that I tell teachers that come and say, I don't even know what the big, is it TikTok now? I don't know how to use TikTok. And I say, yeah, that's fine. You don't need to know how to use TikTok. What you do need is you don't need to be a proficient user of all these platforms. You need to be open to dialoguing with your child. What do you do? Let them lead you into, and maybe they say, I don't know, and maybe you say, let's find out together. So it's okay to be a learner. It's okay to not understand, but just allowing that space for conversation has been found to be the most effective thing. Banning social media for young people
Okay.
has not been proven to be very
Okay.
effective. And actually, in most cases of children who are at risk, has proven to be actually harmful.
Oh.
So,
yeah. Okay.
which is a big topic right now.
I know. Anyway, it's your
I
turn.
didn't do it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, because you forget to this one. Okay. Because actually it's very insightful what you talk about. I think there are a lot of people will take it as not. From that saying, actually there are two things that make me thinking right now. But I will come for the first one. It's like it will relate it to now you are not only as adult, but your role is also as a lecturer, and the main role what you do now is as a parent. And you talk about it's fine to say that I don't know, let's find out together. But my question as a parent, do you take what you learn or what you experience in your childhood to your children now?
Did you have the question? Yeah, you did.
I think I haven't.
No, I don't think you did. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, I'm stealing them. I'm doing up my sleeve.
Okay.
All right. Okay. This big one. I'm gonna get rid of that one. I don't think my strategy for this game is. Oh, that's a big one. So yes, no, I think a lot of that is recognizing. I mean, okay. There were digital platforms starting to take place when I was a teenager. And my family were very early adopters, and my friends were early adopters of MySpace.
Okay.
But I wasn't a young teen, I was an old teen, but still, I was in high school still when I was starting to use social media.
Okay.
And I don't know if you ever used MySpace, you're probably too young, but...
no, I still use MySpace.
I have no idea where it uses it. Like, it's so funny.
Just for...
Is it big in Indonesia?
No, I have, when I learned IELTS, my teacher from Australia
had MySpace?
Yeah. And then he suggested me to use MySpace.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't even know it was still going, really?
Yeah, I still have it, actually.
Yeah, well, yeah, so on MySpace, there used to be this thing where you were supposed to rank your friends.
Oh, okay.
As your best, second, like top 5.
Oh, okay.
And this was a really big thing, like who's your number 1, why are they your number 2, and it was like part of the discussion, it was part of this, and it was a public thing that was also very kind of the back end, there was messaging about it, there was a lot of discussion about like showing that aspect and lots of social pressures around that, and who wasn't on anybody's top 5 and who was on more than one and why were they on more than one, and relationship state, all these things. And while I was an older child, I was still a child. And I think trying to navigate that was really difficult. And so I did talk to my parents about what it was and what they would do. And they, were like, didn't really know what MySpace was.
Okay.
But they were sort of like, maybe talk to your friends, like in real life.
Okay. Yeah.
About that. And that really helped. And I think that relationship between going to people around me has continued to inform what I see as good practice and is supported by, now I know, studies done by big people like Sonia Livingston and other big names in this area that have demonstrated that this is good practice. And there I think that whole kind of ensuring that your community is one that exists in multiple spaces, not just in an online space. I know that there are great only online communities, but having a mix of that in your life is really important.
Okay.
It's great to have just online friends for many reasons, meeting them and maybe they don't live near you and all these lovely things. But also being able to not only have that as one space, and that I think applies to both online and offline relationships, and thinking about the way the playground space works and functions and how people back when they were in primary school, how they navigated the playground space, how they grouped together, how when they shared it. I was always someone who liked to move between groups and had lots of friends, and I think that is something that I try to kind of think about, like in my parenting, but also in thinking about digital practices. Like how can that continue to be emulated, and how do we ensure that somebody isn't just hyper focused on one social space online that isn't offering enough support.
Okay. Have you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Before I forget, I will do like this.
I did an unstrategic one. That was mine.
Okay.
Get strategic this time.
Actually, this question will relate it to what we talked before, talking about the ban. Yeah. Just for a context, maybe many people don't know. In Australia, I think it's still huge debate here now. The government start to apply new policy about ban social media for, I forget it, like 13 until 17.
Yep, something like that.
Yeah.
I think it keeps kind of 16, 17, like, yeah.
Okay, yeah, between the teenager.
Yes.
And the reason why it's still huge conversation for Australia society, because there are pros and cons. It's like some people think like ban the social media, it's not the solution. What they need to do is regulate, how to regulate the platform itself. Right, instead of just ban, because maybe what I read in the term of learning, because now we live in digital societies, so how the children, the youngster can learn the digital if they can't open it or they can't interact with it. And it's part of their right too. So because of that, you said it will be part of harmful if we ban it.
Yeah.
So my question, I just want to hear your opinions. Anyway, since you grew up in Australia, and I think you have that bond with your home country, so, and also digital children, it's your part of interest. So what's your opinion about this? Okay. Okay, you missed one. All right.
If I don't get it there, do I not go?
No. Yeah. Because actually,
you will win.
We need to collect as many as self as we can. So the more self you have, you will win.
In that, but not here.
Yeah. In this.
Yeah, in that part. Okay. Hopefully. Yeah, I think there's a lot of discussion happening about the new Australian policy, and it is the general consensus from those of us in digital childhood studies think that it's a really bad decision, mostly because they haven't thought it through. And yes, digital social media there's a lot of harm. There's a lot of risk. There's not necessarily harm, but there's a lot of risk. And that relationship between risk and harm is very well theorized by a number of digital scholars, but isn't really translated into practice. There's also that relationship, as you say, of where to place blame, where it's going on the individual versus on the companies.
Okay.
So the UK have started to implement a very different one, which is the Online Safety Act.
Okay.
Which is targeting companies and saying that the focus should be on you and your policies. And there's been a major pushback by Facebook, for example, where they have, just as of a couple of days ago, they've got rid of third-party fact-checking across the entire platform. And there's a suggestion that it has been aggravating Elon Musk to interfere in UK politics based on this act. So there's a lot going on, and this is about childhood digital safety. So it's a huge thing right now internationally. So Australia's response is to say, oh, companies, just do your thing. Let's focus on the kids.
Okay.
So it's a response. So that's something. We'll give them that.
Okay.
However, we know that young people access digital platforms even when they're not supposed to. We know that there was a huge 26-wide country study in Europe of children under the age of 13, and within the trial, like huge numbers of kids. I don't remember the percentages. It was run by Jackie Marsh about 5 years ago. And it showed that kids were accessing platforms even though they weren't supposed to have accounts on them under 13. So we know that kids go around these regulations.
Okay.
There's also the fact that they haven't figured out what social media counts as.
Okay.
Is it WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Is it Facebook?
Yeah.
Is it having a platform? Is it just interacting on YouTube? Is it posting, or is it commenting, or is it watching? Because we would say that watching YouTube counts as social media action. So are they not allowed to do that?
Yeah.
And if any of these profiles have any kind of if any of these platforms like Netflix, if they introduced a feeling, like you could demonstrate what you're sharing, what you're watching right now, or something like that, or the way that you could co-watch things on Netflix during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Is that social media? Is that not? It's sharing between communities.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of they haven't got regulated. They haven't figured out.
Okay.
So it's a mess.
Oh yeah. I get it.
Banning anything straight out. I mean, education can't. How are we equipping young people to be in the world that uses social media when we're saying, but don't until you're 18, and then you're fine. 18 is a very big age in Australia. It's drinking, driving, and voting. And now it's going to be social media as well. So it's problematic at best. But yeah, it would be interesting to see how it develops. Hopefully it develops in a positive way. And they pay attention. They also have the government spent a lot of money, hundreds of millions, or at least 100 million, on a Centre for the Digital Child, which is a huge research centre of government funding that says in their papers, don't do this. And then the government ignored the centre that they've spent 100 million Australian dollars on. So there's a lot going on.
Actually, okay, sorry. Before that, before I forget.
Oh, you're going to go all the way around? I think you're going to go all the way around again.
Oh, sorry. This one. Okay, I got two from this.
So what happened to those?
No, I will not take this one. So I just stop this one.
Okay.
So maybe still talk about that policy, because in Indonesia, I will take it to my context.
Yes, please.
Because in Indonesia, like I said, we just have like digital literacy curriculum after pandemic, and the focus it's only in recognizable. It's like when I read the report, it's only talking about children can use the website. We still in that level, I think.
We would call this functional.
Yeah, still in function, because I'm trying to. In Indonesia, we call it like tahu, tanggap, tangguh. So if I should translate it, tahu it's like recognize, knowing. Tanggap it's like it's like responsive. You can respond it, and then tangguh it's like resilient.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, so I think we're still in like how to use. Yes. Maybe now after 4 or 5 years, maybe we try to move to the next level. It's like respond, but I think the most problem, or maybe it's not the most problem, but the things that we need to pay attention fully, it's also about the resilience.
Yeah.
So that's the context in Indonesia. But in Australia, you now talk about the resiliency.
Yeah.
Maybe it's still huge debatable. It's like, no, that's not what we need to do to make our children be more resilient. So my question, what do you think? Or in your point of view, how to make children be more resilient with the many risks from digital.
So I can talk more to the Scottish context for up-to-date understandings of where we are, because the pandemic brought out a lot, as it did internationally, about the fact that we actually don't have a lot of the first one in some communities. So we actually still need functional digital literacies. There's lots of young people that can use WhatsApp, but they can't fill in a form online. So a government form, for example, and that's so many different literacies that you're drawing on there that are quite complex. So because the digital functional is actually so broad, because it does, like, using Microsoft Word, for example, how to save a file in Microsoft Word. Lots of young people today don't know how to do that.
Oh, really?
In Scotland.
Really? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, I'm a bit surprised.
Because they're very competent in using a lot of digital apps, digital programs, but we still, because of this idea that young people are competent in digital skills and they have them all around them, we think that they know how to use them, but quite often that is not the case. A friend of mine was telling me she works for a government job and that she had to teach her intern who's finished high school how to save a file and where to find a file on a computer.
Oh, really?
Because she just doesn't use those technologies, so she's very apt in different ones, but not those ones, and different programs, and so there's a lot of kind of differing expectations of what we're working with as well.
Sorry,
you're like, but a file is so easy.
That's what I'm thinking right now. Oh, I'm sorry. Please continue.
So we do have that, and then we also have there was a shift for a while to move testing onto iPads. And mathematics testing, but we found that what we were testing was not the mathematics. We were testing how good a kid was at using an iPad. Can you find the test? And then we've got kids who, like my daughter, she uses the school apps at home very confidently, but doesn't know how to use my computer, for example, because she's never used a computer. She's only ever used an iPad. And that's getting more and more common. So there's these big gaps and big spaces. So I do think we can't just jump. And I think we have jumped in a lot of ways. Then I think that there is the importance of drawing on, and you're not going to find this surprising. But picture books. You're not going to find it surprising. To consider, like, thinking about the fundamentals of critical literacy and literacies, thinking about the visual and the words, and thinking about these relationships is all teaching digital literacies. So you don't need to have functional skills. You need the software for functional skills, but for critical skills, you don't actually need the best apps. What you need is an understanding of how to be a critical, literate person in the world, how to recognize an argument, how to find, and traditional texts really are great at teaching this sort of thing. So I think the idea that being, I guess, more used to technology in everyday life means that you are more digital literate isn't necessarily, it's not as simply aligned as that. And at the same time, thinking that digital skills have to include a computer isn't really what we're thinking these days, specifically thinking about a post-digital. So yes, the digital, but what else is also part of digital learning would be returning to print texts and things that we have in classrooms already, that you have at homes, that you have everywhere. Exactly this, the idea of strategy, the idea of games. This is all still a literacy that you can use in the digital world. And having these conversations about what's happening around the world, and that's all part of understanding. And as these platforms move away from fact-checking, as these platforms become more politically unstable, these skills are going to be really important. And actually turning to an understanding like traditional, like critical reading of newspaper is going to be really, really an important skill going ahead. for digital literacies, I would say.
Okay. Actually, to be honest, this conversation it's so interesting. But yeah, I think this will be my last question because the time.
Yes, of course.
So I will have one round, and then you will be the last one. Okay, and then we will count ourselves, so we can consider which one the winner. Okay, so my last question, I will talk about, because in the last what you have said in the last earlier, you talk about this game will learn about will teach us about the strategy. So I just want to know, please give us tips and tricks, maybe as parents or maybe as or for children or for as an adult, just an adult without having any role for children. What should we do to participate in this digital world, so we can make this digital world, we can use, or we can use them, we can use the digital world effectively, or maybe for our benefit, and also safely, so we can avoid the risk. Sorry, I will be the last one. Okay, that's one. Okay.
You know which one to do last. Just pick one. It's probably going to give you more.
Okay.
People watching this are like, that was a terrible move. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's a big question.
Okay.
But I would say, don't, if possible, don't assume that your knowledge is not valid because it isn't the most up-to-date digital platform.
Okay.
There's so much knowledge in strategy games, in actually being in the world, and in utilizing technologies to support being in the world. So ensuring that the digital is part of your life is important for young people and for especially in schools and these functional skills we're talking about. But recognizing that the balance of learning, I guess seeing learning as something that is more holistic, that incorporates all these traditional games as well as digital games, and the idea that you messing with a song that you like to sing with your sisters, for example, this is this is mine, where we always used to make up songs, we always used to play with songs, and how that form of understanding, being able to translate those skills and recognizing that there are particular skills of creativity and things like that in that has been probably one of the things that I try to see and I try to encourage in my research with young people for them to see in their everyday. And that if they love playing Minecraft and they love building things in Minecraft and doing that in Minecraft, that isn't a waste of time, but that what they're doing is a lot of traditional skills. And so looking for what we consider good traditional understandings of education in the digital, but also what we, vice versa, seeing what in the everyday is still part of this digital understanding. So I think looking for a balance and looking beyond this, like, I need to know every app and then I can be the safest online, and thinking more about human connections and world connections, that would be probably my piece.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Libby.
Who won? I think
so. Let's count.
I got 7.
One. Oh, I got mine.
Of course you did.
So congratulations for Team Nanos because you win. It's fine, but because anyway, it's so interesting discussion. I really learned a lot from you. Anyway, I have something. This is from Lala and Nano from Cerita Lana, my community. So this one. Okay. Anyway, I bring this a lot of postcard from Indonesia. There are a lot of province. I think it's like 38 province, and since I start from you, so this is the first province in Indonesia. It's like the I don't know how. Oh, the east one.
Yes.
The do you know Australia? The province that near Australia is Papua.
Yes.
But this is the east one.
Yes,
the
yes,
Aceh. So we count it as the first province.
Oh, okay.
So this is from you.
Thank you.
This
is
one.
lovely.
And also,
oh my gosh, this is delicious. The curried spicy noodle dish.
Yeah. And also this one. Anyway, this is for passport.
Oh, cool.
How to say it? Passport card?
Passport holder.
Yeah, holder. Yeah. You can use it, or if not, you can just be as a collection. You can use it as a collection.
That's great. Thank you so much. That's so kind.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So let me close this one. So yeah, do you know there are a lot of things that we can learn from Libby. Thank you so much. But maybe one thing that I still remember from what Libby said, it's about even you are parents, you can still be honest that you don't know anything, and that ask your children to, okay, let's find out together. Because I think it's not about as an adult you are the smarter, you are the cleverer. It's about connection. It's about bonding with your children. And maybe playing this traditional game can be one of things that you can do in your house with your children. So that's all. So thank you so much for watching this video. Let's meet again with other guests. So me, Dea, and also Libby will close this one. Thank you so much, and let's meet again in other Playdate podcast. Can we say it together? Reminiscing your childhood memories. So I will say Playdate podcast, and then you will say reminiscing your childhood memories.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So see you. Sorry. Okay. Thank you so much, and let's watch again the Playdate podcast.
Reminiscing your childhood memories.
Bye. All right.
Do you want me to do an introduction to myself?
Oh,
and say my